The Match Ball.
Welcome to the show, brought to you in association with Levi Solicitors. Michael?
Wills.
Probate. Conveyancing. 10% off your legal fees.
I was barely out the tunnel today, but I went there to pack stuff up. Someone still shouted it at me.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's good to know. Good to know it sticks.
It's like your mating call, isn't it?
There was none of that. Just to be clear.
Dan, Michael and Rob here then after Leeds 4, Huddersfield 1. And finally a nice sort of relaxing afternoon.
Boo, boring second half.
It's funny, wasn't it? That second half was like a training exercise, but they were terrible, weren't they? Absolutely dog shit.
There was a real moment in the first half where you could tell they were just broken and they just gave up. And fed up now. Do we have to? I did think, like, what do you say to them at half time if you're the manager?
Go out there and win the second half, which they did, so
did.
congratulations to them. Have to say that, you know, they were bitching and moaning about the ticket prices. And like all those fans of theirs that left at half time, pro rata, you paid about the same anyway, didn't you? 20 quid for a half of football.
That is true.
What's wrong with them?
I can see why they did, though, really.
Yeah.
Because
I'm surprised they made it to half time.
it was not going to turn, was it? As pessimistic as I am, I didn't think they were going to get back into that.
It was funny, wasn't it, how it sort of flattened the second half atmosphere a bit, because it was like watching a training exercise. Leeds weren't overly committing forward. Huddersfield weren't pressing us. It was just a case of almost running the clock down. And then obviously Meslier has his moment. But I mean, we can just talk about the first half because it was absolute carnage, wasn't it?
Yeah, second half, we just had a rest,
Yeah.
made a load of changes. Everyone has a bit of time off. Because we did play. We'd gone late Wednesday to early Saturday, haven't we? So it's you know, there's not a lot of time between games. So it's very sensible to just see it out. It's absolutely fine. And they shouldn't have scored, should they? Let's face it.
No, that was a bad error.
It was a mistake. And it kind of looked offside too, but I mean, really, who can give a shit?
Yeah, it's always hard to tell with those ones because you're looking at the wrong moment,
Yeah.
aren't you? And it was like, I think, did Pirro have one ruled out in the first half? Where I was like, well, he's clearly onside. And then the same thing happened in the second. I was like, no, that's offside.
I was willing to bet my life that was onside,
Yeah.
even though I didn't see a replay and the linesman was in the line.
Well, what do they know, frankly? But yeah, first half was just great. The only point I was worried in the first half, I think I made a note on about 20 minutes to say we should be winning. Was about the only thing I was worried
The
about.
20-minute text, yeah.
Just because
Should have sent it to Phil.
Just because they felt like they didn't touch the ball for about the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say the only moment I worried in the first half was when Leeds broke 3-on-2 and Somerville gave it to Dan James. I was like, no, don't give it to Dan James. And he just put it in the bottom corner. I was like, give it to Dan James.
I had that same
Perfect.
thought. I thought,
Brilliant.
out of the three of them that broke, it was at 3-on-2. I was like, oh,
It was
he's done
great.
it. So I'm sorry, Dan James.
Yeah, the Rutter disallowed goal was 10 minutes, by the way. I just noticed that. But yeah,
Right.
they're the first note I've got there is 7 minutes. Their 7 runs a long way and shoots wide. But I think that was the first thing they'd done for the.
They had a couple of
For the
moments,
opening.
didn't there, where you thought, if they're going to hurt us, it'll be on the break. But then every time we went forward, looked like we were going to score.
Yeah, we did. And the best chance they had in the first half actually was the one where I think Shackleton had tried to chest it back to Meslier and it went a bit wrong. But then Rodon came from absolutely nowhere and did an unbelievable tackle.
He's really good. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a precaution, taking him off, a little bit of tightness in the hamstring or whatever.
Yeah, we thought we'd make it a bit interesting. Bring on Cooper and Ayling. That was
Like old times, wasn't it?
Well, no, because Ayling used to be able to run.
Yeah.
And even though Huddersfield had shown not a glimmer of pace for the entire game, all of a sudden Ayling came on and you went, well, they're quite quick.
I was just flicking through Twitter on the way down then, on the walk back, and I saw somebody say it's the first time they'd kind of had the realisation that we need to move on from the previous promotion squad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we are, because like Cooper unsettled us a bit at the back, didn't he? Ayling just wasn't quite. I don't know, the players are not necessarily up to speed of the game as well when they come on, but yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
Ayling did get the chance to not necessarily recreate his volley against Huddersfield, but it was from the same sort of spot. And for a brief moment, I was like, we are going to go back in time. Everything's going to be fixed. It's like pre-pandemic. It's going to be great. But no, he was he's a good laugh, Ayling, watching him now, to be honest. His passing as well was just horrendous today, but whatever.
My notes from the game say 66 dropping to Ayling, blocked with that was the chance. But then somewhere between 70 and 74 minutes, I've written Ayling is finished.
Oh, bless him.
It wasn't great. But it didn't matter by that point. And I mean, let's face it, they were terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. And I think
That's what should have happened against Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that
Yeah.
was the afternoon we should have enjoyed a month ago or whenever it was.
yeah, it's not going well for them though, is it?
No. It's not.
But
No.
Huddersfield are doing all right though, weirdly. Like, how have they got that many points being that bad?
Where are they in the league?
They're quite low down, but they've managed to get 14 points from 14 games.
They were 21st before this game. Presumably they're about similar.
They are similar. Yeah, still 21st.
Yeah.
Still somewhere clear of Sheffield Wednesday.
Right. Yeah.
As is everyone.
Gather they're quite low down. Yeah. But yeah, they were laughably bad, weren't they? I think every time, Rutter just kept picking the ball up and then running past people when you think, there's no way he's not going to get there. He's behind the man's close to the ball, and then suddenly he just bursts down the wing and you go, we're getting another chance then, aren't we?
It looks like they try to tackle like a bar of soap when Rutter gets the ball. They just can't, no defender knows what to do with him. And it's like he does the same thing every time, the turn he does. It just works every time. He's just big and strong as well. They can't get the ball off him. He's class. Like, his passing again.
Yeah.
Just different class.
The weight of him, if his passes are so nice. I don't know if he somehow manages to put backspin on him or something. There's just something about him that they're always just so teed up for people to run onto or to shoot from and stuff. He's a dream. Yeah. And he faded a bit second half, actually, didn't he? He felt like he wasn't in it as much. But then no one was.
After.
No. Yeah. First half, we just destroyed him completely.
Just looking at the stats, we had 74% possession. Expected goals was 1.71 to 0.73.
What's their completed passes, and is it less than 100?
I was going to say that the important stats here that reflect the game most accurately are total shots 20 to 5. We only had 3 big chances, so we did all right there. Accurate passes 773 by us, 92% pass accuracy. I guess a lot of that went round in the defence, though, in the second half particularly. They had 219 and 74%.
I reckon most of them were in their own half as well.
Yeah.
In our half, it felt like they never managed to string anything together.
They won on offsides, though. We were caught offside 3 times. They weren't caught offside at all. So
that's because they did not attack.
That's the real quiz. We absolutely mullered them, didn't we?
And I think, should they have had a man sent off as well?
There was a couple of tackles in that game, I thought. Ooh.
There were a few that the ref let go. There was
one on Ampadu, wasn't there? That was
bad. That was given as a yellow, wasn't it? But it was one of those that is kind of it's as close as you can get to a red, probably without it being. But then Hogg, who I always want to call Hoggy because I've heard Warnock say it so much. Yeah. Hoggy did one that I didn't see, but he'd already been booked. It was towards the end of the first half, and it was that late I wasn't actually watching. But you could see he stood up and did a kind of come on, no.
Yeah.
It was the ref just let him off with it. So
yeah, it was the end of the first half where it looked like they'd properly given up, and a few of their players looked like they were trying to get themselves sent off because it was like, I really don't want to come out for the second half if that's all right.
It was fun watching some of their fans not only leave but turn on their players and manager as well. Did you notice right by the bottom corner, because they actually sold their away tickets, which is good of them.
Warnock's widows, aren't they?
Well done. Down at the very front where the corner of the West Stand meets the tunnel, and there was some argy-bargy going on there, let me tell you.
Was there?
Some unhappy people expressing their opinions, which they are within their rights to do.
It's a big day from them, isn't it? You've got to remember that.
Yeah. But 20 quid for a cup final ticket.
It is good.
It's really reasonable price, I think.
It's a good price.
And they've seen lots of goals as well, so they can go home happy, can't they? So
they were underdogs, weren't they? Just how they like it.
Yep, absolutely. Very good. Goals. Let's talk about the goals then. Who scored?
Can't remember them. Somerville and James got a couple each, didn't they?
Yes. So let me go back
order
to
they
those.
were in.
Let's go back to the game stats.
I can't
James
remember.
scored the first one. That was the one that he
20 minutes.
shoved in the bottom corner.
The Phil Hay time, because obviously 20 minutes is when Phil Hay's supposed to message me and never does to tell me how the game's going to go. But 1-0 at 20 minutes, Dan James.
It's the Johnny Cooper has tweeted a good stat that Somerville is the first player to score 2 goals and get 2 assists in a game since Lee Bowyer in 2001 in the UEFA Cup.
Right.
There you go. But the first goal, actually, I've checked my notes now. I've remembered it. It was...
Well done for doing your job, Michael.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to do several things over here.
Yeah, well...
Like controlling a live stream, looking at the comments, listening to your inane babble.
Doing them all badly. But it was Rutter again.
Saving our commercial contract with Levi Solicitors.
Down in the kind of
time.
left-back position. And it was a really nice... But I think he waited for a minute for the pass, and then it was a really nice weight of pass, and it was Somerville to James. And... that was the one that was near post, wasn't it, James? Because he varied his finishes. The second one went far post, went across the keeper. First one went through the keeper.
That was bad keeping, wasn't it? Was that one?
I thought their keeper was quite bad on a few of them.
Did you notice that we resurrected? He's only quiet from the south stand, but they resurrected at the start of the second half because obviously they turned us round, didn't they? So they were attacking.
Well, really rattled us that.
Yeah.
Could see the players like, oh, fucking hell.
As the keeper came out and went to the south stand and they started singing 4-0, it's your keeper's fault. It was Alex Smithers we sang that against and broke him.
I was disappointed there was no it's Tom Lee's fault again.
There was a chant of you're too shit to play for Leeds at Tom Lee's.
Don't sing that at Tom Lee's.
I know, bless him.
It's not his fault.
It's only pantomime, Rob. Don't take it so personally. It's all right. It's all right. So 1-0, 20 minutes. Dan James. What happened with that one again? Remind me. Sorry, which one was that?
So that was which I explained. That was Rutter at left back, but you weren't listening because you do it. Oh, I claim to be doing more than one job, even though I'm just doing one and ignoring the others. That was Rutter in the left back, finding Somerville, finds James.
Sorry, say that again. I wasn't listening.
Just dead quick counter attack.
It's hard doing this job.
Well, you certainly make it look that way.
And then we were 2-0 up after 31. Somerville. Which one was that then?
That was the proper daisy cutter, wasn't it? Where it just slowly rolled into the net through the keeper. I was a bit like, probably should have saved that.
Was that the one where he went down the left and cut back onto his right foot? Was it that one? Yeah.
Yeah, and he sort of just passed it in. Just past the standing
really
goal.
close to him as well.
Quite close to the goalkeeper and not very hard.
Well, this is some exciting live updates for you then. Ipswich currently losing 1-0 at 3:10 as we timestamp this one.
So you're saying promotion's on?
HMS Piss the League or whatever we're renaming it. It's happening, mate.
But yeah, that was, in fairness to the keeper, it came through a group of players, didn't it? Maybe he didn't see it. It looked like he sort of let it in. It looked like when...
Are you saying he threw the game?
No, I'm saying it had a look of when you're rotating keepers in five-a-side and you've got someone in net who's not bothered about being in net.
Yeah,
and
so let's one in so he can get back
so
out
he's just
again.
happy to let one in.
Yeah.
Is how it looked. But celebrated with Nonto, which was nice.
Yeah, who still disappears off down the tunnel at full time now. He doesn't stay out with the rest of them. Sulky little fucker, yeah. So we need to sort that out.
Okay.
That's his new version of going on strike, presumably, because he didn't want to be here. But
Don't need him anyway.
no.
Somerville and James, better.
He wasn't great, was he, when he come on?
It was a weird second half on it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It had lost all shape by that point.
Yeah.
Well.
Just returning to Somerville's first goal, Tom's saying it was a fantastic dummy by the defender on his first goal. The keeper letting him in, defender dummying him. Excellent. Some of our best players were playing for them, weren't they?
Some very high-level stuff.
So then...
Was it Edwards they had who was just laughably bad?
Was he the full
back? Yeah,
They took him off at half-time.
Yeah.
God, he was getting absolutely destroyed every time.
I was listening to Radio Leeds on the way back down. Ross McCormack was on there with Johnny Buchan, and it was saying like it was Edwards who'd had a torrid time in that first half, yeah.
Because he was one who, towards the end of the first half, looked like he was trying to get sent off. Because Byron passed the ball and he just booted him afterwards. Like, oh, come on, please end it for me.
Yeah, on 36, I've got a note that says ref refusing to book them.
Right.
Which I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what that was. Then a few minutes later, Dan James, he did the thing I've been wanting him to do for ages, which is where he just sees a big space in front of him and he just boots it really hard and runs after it. And then they did foul him.
It's been mentioned, actually, just on that, it has been mentioned in the comments. Where is it? Let me find it if I can. That Rutter passed to himself a couple of times in that game. It was Tom who's mentioned it, actually. Yeah. Comments on screen at the minute. He's taking the piss. And I enjoyed that as well, where Leeds United were taking the piss. And some Ole's started up as well. Ole! Ole! End of the first half, which is always a sign that it's moved towards being like a training exercise.
It's a shame we couldn't add to it second half, really.
Yeah, I wanted us to score at 8.
I did as well.
Yeah,
Because you just get the sort of the scent of blood in it, don't you? And you think, yeah, we can absolutely destroy him here.
Yeah,
just keep going. And I know it's more sensible to say.
As Richard said in the comments, crowd wanted 7, Gaffer wants a fully fit squad.
Yeah.
I sat down at the start of the second half, said, let's get 10. It felt doable as well, to be fair.
It's funny, at half time, I tweeted when was the last time we were 4 up at half time, and it turns out I was right. It was the Ipswich when Yeboah had scored a hat-trick in the first half. And I remember, it was the season, I think, or maybe it was the season, it must have been the same season, Scum had beaten them 9-0.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, getting to 4-0, I'm thinking, we can do 9 here.
Little Scum Bastard could have had a first half hat-trick, couldn't he, as well?
It finished 4-0, did that one.
Right.
He could, yeah, he blazed one over, didn't he?
Yeah, should have scored that. We should have scored that goal about 2 or 3
Pirot
times.
should have scored it as well, shouldn't
Yeah.
he?
Was that where it got cut back to Somerville as well and he just shot straight at the keeper?
Yeah, it was. We should have scored about 2 or 3 times in that sequence.
Because Somerville, his fourth goal was basically that goal. It was like the goal he should have scored. He just did it.
Just looking at the scores that are ongoing at the minute, this is exciting when you're the early kick-off because you can see what's going on. Bournemouth losing at home to Burnley. Guess who scored?
Charlie Taylor.
Correct. First goal in 8 years.
Wow, bloody hell. How did Wayne Rooney's Birmingham get on?
They lost.
I know, they got on.
They lost, didn't they?
3 on the bounce.
What was the final score? It was 2-0 at half time, wasn't it?
Was it 3-1 in the end?
I'll have a look.
I think it finished 3-1.
It was.
But that's going well for him.
Yeah, 3-1.
Super.
Yeah, so that was goal number 3. Where were we? I've lost track of my goals now. So many of them. 34 minutes, James gets his second. That was the one on the right foot where he just sort of put it out of the keeper's reach, didn't he?
Good finish. And that was another similar one, like you were saying about what you want from James, where Somerville just passed it into loads of space for him. So go on, you're really quick. Run onto that and score. Easy.
Yeah. It was. I'm just looking through my notes as well. Some point in injury time, first half, they attacked and it looked dangerous, then Ampadu just took it off them in a kind of way of like, stop being silly.
Yeah.
You're not getting near.
Because they did have occasional half moments where because we were attacking so much, and I happened to look as they broke on us, and we were 2-on-2 at that point, and I thought, please get back, because we don't want to start messing around in this sort of situation. But
it's just a very, very, this is stating the obvious, a very, very different level to the Premier League, though, isn't it? Where you get caught to like 2-on-2 or even 3-on-2 sometimes, and because the players are not very good and no one can bring it, everyone needs like 3 touches to bring it under control. You just have so much more scope for getting back and stopping it. Like the one where Shackleton chests it and Rodon gets back, but that before Rodon has a chance to get there, Harry Kane's just scored in that situation. But because he's playing for Huddersfield, it was like, right, I just need another 4 or 5 touches under this. I'll try and get the ball stationary, then I'll be able to shoot. And it's fairly forgiving, but it's more fun, isn't it? Winning games.
It really is, yeah. I like it more than losing them.
Yeah.
I
got quite tired of that.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, it was rubbish, wasn't it? And then injury time in that first half. When he put 5 minutes up, I thought, go on, Leeds, go get another one. And they did.
They
treated me.
The Olays led up to that goal as well. It was brilliant. Like, people started Olay and then we were like, okay, we'll score then. Cool.
We did. That was, so Cree's second one. That was a bit of a P-roller as well, in the sense that the keeper should have done a lot better.
Yeah. My halftime note is their goalkeeper a hologram? So I was starting to think, I don't think
Rimmer.
I don't think I've seen him touch the ball, apart from maybe a bit of kicking he'd done with it. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I'd seen him make a save.
Yeah.
Did you put money on Huddersfield at any point today?
Yeah. Well, I'd done a bit. I think I'd done a fiver pre-game. Then I think at 2-0, I put like
2-0. You'd seen them for that long.
Yeah, I know. I think
you're an idiot.
Yeah, but they went to like
you were just giving me that money.
They were like 300 to 1, and I thought I'll just put another quid on, just put a quid on the draw just to cover it off.
Chasing your losses.
No, because I'm not. If you're chasing something, it's just you want to catch it, and I don't.
Right.
I wanted to lose an extra £1, and I did. So well done, me.
I hope you enjoyed doing that.
Well done.
A little pat on the back. Can we talk about Georginio Rutter again? And I know it feels a bit like positive Groundhog Day doing this, but he's just so much fun, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He just fills me with joy. He makes me feel happy.
Yeah, he was there in the build-up for Somerville's one before half-time, wasn't he? Was he down the left on that one, taking the piss? I seem to remember he got the ball. Again, one of those where you think, oh, he's not going to get this. Then you think, oh, he's not going to keep this. And then before you know it, he's twisted and turned, and he's
10 yards of space.
And he's away, and he's laid it back, and we scored again. Yeah, he's great fun. I feel almost sorry for him that he's not got more goals this year.
Yeah.
Because he definitely deserves it. But, if he just keeps putting him on a plate for people.
He is, as Lucas is saying, way too good for this league.
He is.
Which is mad, isn't it? Given what we saw last year.
It's brilliant. To stay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
and prove a point.
Enormous credit to him that it was the end of last season where Sam Allardyce, fucking hell, was basically refusing to acknowledge that he existed. It was that game where he was on the bench and he just left Rodrigo on because he was like, oh, we don't have any forwards. And then you look at Rutter this year and think, who's our best player? How has this happened?
I don't think Allardyce probably got any further than seeing the bag he turned up with and his coat and just went, no, not for the relegation scrap.
But he had the run of it today. He looked a little bit disappointed he didn't manage to get a goal himself.
Yeah.
But did he have one ruled out, did you say?
No.
Or was he offside or something?
Hero, wasn't it? Had one ruled out.
I lose track of them all, But yeah, he's just so much fun. Loads and loads of fun. Who would you put in your candidates for Hero of the Week then? In terms of who was your man of the match today? It's quite hard to pick one, isn't it, really? Somerville again? Fotmob have given it to Somerville. 9.5 out of 10.
It's a quiet shout for Kamara, who I think improved the midfield massively today.
He did some really good twinkle toesy stuff down by the East Stand as well, just when you thought he'd kind of run himself into trouble and he just emerged with it. You're like, nice. One when he was kind of defending, helping out at left back, and one when he was a little bit further forward.
And it just felt like the tempo of it all was an awful lot better through midfield with him there. And he's happy to run with the ball and receive it in slightly more difficult areas probably than Gruev. So, I thought he made a big difference today.
Yeah, he's very, very kind of progressive, isn't he, in his play?
He's just like a very good all-round midfielder in a way that feels a bit of a luxury. Mm-hmm. I suppose when we saw Gruev the other day, I think Gruev is probably meant as an Ampadu replacement, and then it's Kamara and Gray for the other slot, because you can see Gray doing that stuff too. But when Gray's at right back and it gets a bit messy, don't they, in midfield?
But I really like Ampadu. I like his desire to come and pick up the ball all the time. He's always looking for it, always looking to recycle it, keep it moving. They just seem to really work nicely together in midfield. And obviously you've got Archie Gray who can slot back in there too. So nice, everything's bloody lovely.
I really liked Sam Byram again.
Yes.
He's just like, again, I can't believe how this has happened, but he's just really good. And like the way he dribbles past players and beats players, and he's got a bit of skill. It's like, I don't necessarily remember this from last time. You remember him as like an athletic young boy, and now he's just dribbling off the wing, beating fullbacks, setting up chances, doing everything right. It's like, how has this happened? And I thought when Shackleton moved to left back in the second half, he picked it up a bit there as well. I thought he was good.
Yeah,
Shackleton was good, actually.
considering he was targeted throughout the first half,
Yeah.
Particularly down that side. They must have seen that as an area to exploit. But yeah, there were a couple of moments when he got caught on his heels early doors. I think we were only might have been 1-0 up or 2-0 up at that point. I can't quite remember. But when you had those little sniffs, the little half chances, but I thought he was he was good, wasn't he? But just in terms of Byram's impact on the game, we always look more solid when he's on the pitch, regardless of which side he's on. If it's the left, we always look really, really tidy.
Yeah.
Down that side.
Yeah, we do.
And I know the game got stretched and it was a little bit ragged later on, but it was nice.
Considering as well that going into the game, Farke was saying how they needed to make a late decision on Byram because they didn't know whether to play. He could play 3 games in a week again, and he just made it look really easy. And then the second half, just give him a big rest. It's all good.
Yep. I'm just looking down the team actually on the FOTMob thing, which does give players scores based on algorithms. But once again, every single outfield player for us in the green. Just
Right.
everyone played well.
What does that mean in terms of like 7 out of 10 or what?
Yeah, I think it's above 7.
Right.
So yeah, everyone played well. Somerville the best of them, which is hardly surprising given the
I was going
goals.
to say 2 goals and 2 assists is kind of...
It's fine, is that, innit? You'd probably take that. Whereas for Huddersfield, everyone in the red.
Oh,
Their keeper, 4.5, the worst player on the pitch.
in the doghouse, eh? And so on and so forth.
None of our subs did well.
No,
Is the short version of it as well.
did they not? But the game was over.
well.
It was over as a contest by then, wasn't it? It was just doing bits to change stuff. So like Rodon went off at 64 just to protect him. That's when Cooper came on and started. The defence looked like more fun, more adventurous.
Was Cooper bad? I didn't think it. I thought
I
he was all right.
thought
wasn't he?
Cooper. Ayling was noticeably
there
bad.
was that one moment when Cooper.
Oh, did he give away? Should he give away a penalty?
No, he got slightly the wrong side of the attacker, and the attacker went into the space behind him. The ball was dropping over him, and I thought, oh no! But then he managed to get back and make that last ditch recovery tackle, which might be the one you're thinking about.
Was it a tackle? That
Yeah.
because it was eerily quiet in the cop when he did that, which makes me think everyone's quietly thinking that might be a penalty.
Oh no, I think that was like quite in front of me. It seemed fine.
There was a fear of it. I thought the same because it was kind of it happened on my blind side. I went, oh no, don't do it.
Yeah, and we got Bamford on,
Yep,
booed very very briefly, then drowned out with a song.
I know. Yeah,
That was
it was audible though, and to the point where I was actually slightly taken aback.
It was very brief though. I thought, was it?
Yeah.
It was audible.
I only did it for 5 or 6.
It was nice though that the crowd recognised, like the majority of the crowd recognised. No, let's not boo our own players onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And sang his name.
Particularly, on a nice day as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's nice,
I think as well. You've got to remember it's a form of pantomime, isn't it? And it's a form of like mass expression. Like you can't say to him, "Look, I broadly support you, but what I thought you did by taking that penalty on Wednesday night was a little bit selfish and didn't put the team's needs first." So how do you distill that into a thing you can communicate in a stadium with tens of thousands of people? It's either a boo or applause, isn't it? Yeah, and I think that needs to be remembered that it's reductive.
There's a level of nuance required, isn't there, to kind of get across, which you can't in a stadium.
Yeah,
But yeah, whatever. I suppose it's good for him to get on and get that first bit out of the way.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, because he won't get booed next game.
No,
if he comes on, unless he misses another penalty at Leicester, which he won't.
yeah. I mean, there's just it was so toothless. Like when he had that shot as well, you kind of went, "Oh, Patrick." It's very Patricky that.
But then he did a really good recovery tackle at one point. He was running back in midfield and made a good tackle. And
Yeah,
did
that was good. That was good. Yeah,
He did a really good run down the right wing and crossed it, and it just went past Anthony,
yes,
which would have been a good chance.
Comments are suggesting that tackle by Cooper. By the way, I don't think he got the ball.
it looked. I thought it looked a bit dicey, I have to say, and the sort of just an intake of breath and then complete silence. Because normally, if a play goes down and people think it's not a penalty, you get people yelling at the player saying he's gone down, whereas everyone just went, "Ooh, okay."
It's weird. It's weird, isn't it, to like watch a game where you feel like there's no jeopardy in it, or very, very little jeopardy. Like I said, there were those moments where Huddersfield just got us a little bit on the break and you just thought, defend this properly. And then we did most times. They had a couple of very, very half chances. But other than that, it was just like, it was like a training exercise. It was dead relaxing, wasn't it, the whole thing? And it makes a massive change. I know there's anxiety attached to the idea of we need to get promoted. But, broadly speaking, based on what you witnessed today, it's like, it's all very chill, isn't it?
The thing is, it was so dominant from us that they were happy to not attack particularly, and would just seemed grateful that we weren't attacking anymore.
Yeah.
And so it just played out in this weird nothing of a game.
It was like attack versus defence, but without any attacking.
I mean, it was quite early in the second half where if you're going to get back into a game, not that anyone really does from 4-0 down, it's incredibly rare, isn't it? But if you're going to get back into a game, you need to be going at the team. And Rutter was down injured. It must have been the first 10 minutes of the second half. And they had the ball and they just put it out because you got the feeling they were just like, oh, fine, just... We'd rather waste time here than try and score, because if we try and score, you might break and get another one, and we'd rather just the ball's out of play for a minute or two. So that was kind of, and then by the time that happens, we get it. You have to kick it back to us, and before you know it, we've wasted 5 minutes, and you've not scored again. And that seemed to be the point it had reached by then. There was absolutely no
see it out,
no sort of up and at 'em. It was like, yeah, we're 4-0. Fine by us now. We'll just get this over and done with.
A couple of the comments then that are coming out from the press conference. He's quietly confident, is Farker, that Rodon, a little bit of a tweak of the hamstring, and Somerville will be fit to face Leicester on Friday. It's good. I think it's probably good to cast a bit of doubt in public. So, play a bit of the old mind games and all that. But yeah, hopefully they'll be in. And just talking about Joel Peru, actually, talking about... it wasn't necessarily the game for him to shine today because the attack was set up in a way for the players with the most pace to thrive, which worked, didn't it? Because Somerville got 2, Dan James got 2.
I thought he was decent today, though. I thought he did his...
He linked up well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did his hold-up, linky-up stuff pretty well.
Yeah, and he drops really deep sometimes as well when they're trying to stifle the midfield, because you noticed how they were sat back. He just come and drop in almost to like near to Ampadu and Kamara, just pick the ball up, pop it back off again. But it's nice I'm sort of getting a handle on how Farker's got a set up to play now. I quite like it, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking, because again, after Wednesday when we got beat, there was a bit of talk about, are we making the most of Perot and Rutter? Have we got them the wrong way around? And so I think, like, you could say Perot is the striker and you could say Rutter is the number 10, and they're going to play exactly the same way, I think. It's just what they do and the kind of players they are. I think they complement each other quite well. And in games like that, Perot's job is kind of just to get out of the way and make space for people and leave it for everyone else to have fun.
Has Crescencio Somerville got 6 in 12 now, something like that? He's scored in, I think, something like that. I heard a stat that mentioned on Radio Leeds, so you have to forgive me for not picking up on it properly, but has he scored 6 goals now? So he's getting you 1 in 2.
Yeah. Whereas Perot, useless.
But yeah, the goals are just coming from all over, which is great. And I'm pleased the little scum bastard is adding some end product to his...
he was very good today.
To his game.
I was thinking, though, during the game, this is probably like the first time since he's been at Leeds he's actually had a run of games playing in his proper position on the wing. Because all that first season, he was just playing up front, basically. I think he had a brief.
Which everyone loved.
Yeah, which worked an absolute treat, didn't it? But yeah, it's the first time he's played on the wing and seems to be having fun and getting confidence, and he's doing really well.
I said this to my dad, actually, at one point, that maybe he just needed to be coached as well. Like, I know we had Bielsa as his coach, but he was playing up front most of the time when Bielsa was here. Then Bielsa got sacked. Then we went through the whole chaos ball period. Then he ends up at Fulham. And now he's finally come back, and you've got Farker in there who might just be telling him to do 1 or 2 little things differently. And it seems to be maybe perhaps applicable, the same thing that he's doing with Somerville, which maybe to be more decisive in attacking areas. And like he took his shots earlier against Norwich, when he went through. Maybe there's just encouraging that out of them as well, just getting them a little bit more sure of themselves.
Playing against some absolute championship lumps is undoubtedly easier as well.
But it builds the confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you know you're better than the opposition.
Yeah.
You do look at players like Somerville and Rutter and James having loads of fun, and then you look at Brendan Aronson having an absolute miserable time, and you think, the lads that have stayed have really made the right choice here, it seems, isn't it?
And if we go up...
6 in 11 for Somerville, someone's telling me, sorry. Go on.
Okay. Just the momentum of it for the club as a whole and for those players last year as well, it felt like it was never getting going for them. Whereas you feel like if we do go up, or even if, tomorrow we were dropped into the Premier League, all of a sudden you'd see Somerville and James looking like good players in there. Whereas towards the end of last year, you were like, don't know if this is ever going to really click.
Yeah. Yes. But click today, it did, didn't it? Anything further to add then before we wrap it up? It's just been a nice relaxing day all round, hasn't it? Fun.
And the day's young. Only 3:30.
However, if it is, what are you going to go do with the rest of the afternoons? Go watch that again?
I actually will. I won't watch the second half. I'll watch the first half again because that was fun.
Bournemouth won, Burnley won, so they've clawed their way back into it. That's exciting, isn't it? For them.
Not really.
No, but Sheffield United are losing
You're joking.
to Arsenal, which comes as a surprise.
I was discussing today, is it possible that the Sheffield clubs are going to end the season on minus points? Because I think at some point Sheffield Wednesday might get a points deduction because they're already getting sanctions, aren't they? So if they could get a points deduction between them, they might end up on like -8 or something.
That would be good fun.
Which would be great if an entire city can be on minus points.
Yeah, excellent. Stoke are beating Middlesbrough. They're winning up there. Plymouth are beating Ipswich at home, which is Ipswich are at home rather than Plymouth, by the way. So
that's a long,
Sunderland
cross country jaunt, that, isn't it?
Sunderland
to Plymouth.
Yeah, Sunderland losing to Norwich, and Watford won, Millwall won. So it's looking all right at this stage. Plenty of time for that to change, but at least we've had a nice time, and that's the important thing. And we can now look ahead to next Friday and another 3 points against Leicester, can't we?
Well,
why are you sniggering?
It'll be tough.
What?
The thing is, it'll be tough, but it's not. It's not Premier League tough. It's the hardest game of the season, isn't it? Away at Leicester.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, oh, well, we might. Whereas the hardest game in the Premier League, you look at and you go, no, absolutely nothing. Apart from when Stuart Dallas scores.
Happy days. Well, I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Did you enjoy it?
We should do more of it, I think.
But just keep winning.
Yeah.
If we keep doing that, might go up and then we can hate every minute of being back in the Premier League. We'll see you soon.
The Match Ball.